Hi and welcome back to Studio Tamera, the Mystical Paintress. Today in Michigan we have a lot of snow. I'm going to paint this white pine here behind me. Hopefully we'll have a whole bunch of birds out here eating. I hear the crows. Got my Soltec. I'm going to set up and get started. If you like my videos, by the way, please hit the thumbs up and subscribe. It's free. That helps support my channel. And thank you to all my Patreon followers. All right, let's get started. Time to set up the easel. Make sure you're wearing warm clothes. And it's just that quick. So I am planning to paint that white pine right there. And I'm hoping maybe if we get lucky, we'll get a little bird to land and we can paint in a nice little bird. So let's get started. We have a lot of things to learn today. So my board, it's a masonite. There's some birds. It's a masonite board that's cut to 9 by 12. I used a purple and cobalt blue with turpentine wash over it, and then I wiped it down. It was gessoed with Blick Professional Gesso too. So this is all dry, ready to rock. And I'm going to mix a little gray with some violet gray, and a little sienna, and a little cobalt. Okay. That's going to be my base color. You want to block in the big shapes. Pick like 5 big shapes, block them in, and then work from darkest to lightest. Your dark layer should be very thin. It should not be thick paint, because dark will crack over time if it's too thick sometimes. All right, so we're going to first take that gray color, and we're going to squint, look at your picture, and then you're going to block in. Let's see. Also, on overcast days like today, when the sun isn't out, this is one of those rare days where the snow is actually going to be lighter than the sky. There's a blue jay. I'm picking a particular branch that I see out there, and then on top of that, this is called negative painting. And I'm just using the blues and the browns, trying to get the shape of this branch that's kind of coming down. So this is the trunk, but it's not just a straight line like so many people often paint. You got to really study it. Trees have personalities just like people, and they have different proclivities and different personalities and different ways of growing, and they're fun to study when you look at them. So I'm really studying this white pine here. It's just beautifully clothed in this fresh January snow here in Michigan. I'm taking a little bit of umber and cobalt, mixing kind of a darker color. And you either want a predominantly light painting with just a little dark, or a predominantly dark painting with just a little bit of light. That'll give your composition more power. And generally also, if you can't see things, don't put them in. So if you know that this goes all the way down but you can't see it, then you shouldn't put it in. Just put things in where you see them. So I'm just squinting. I'm looking for where I see any dark in this tree. And there isn't very much other than the trunk. The greens are very grayed out because it's winter. One great green you can mix, a dark green, is using black and ochre. Black and ochre makes just the prettiest dark green. It's a very rich color. If it's too yellow, add black. If it's too black, add a little yellow. Okay, so when I look at the tree, I'm just doing a close-up of one area. So I'm going to put a little gray to the side here and gray this down, a little violet gray. Gray this down a little. And just squint. Look at the tree. And let's see. There's a little here. Dip it in the turp to make it a little easier to move on the board. All right, there's a little here. There's a little here. When I squint, there's a dark area here. I don't know what it is, but it's dark. So we're going to just go ahead and put it in, whatever it is. Okay. Now I'm going to mix a little cobalt blue and violet gray and make a little gray pile. And dip it in the turp. Squint. And kind of really get the... Oh my goodness, what happened there? Uh-oh, it got in the orange. Yikes. Here's the beauty of oil. So what? Mix some more. Okay. Let's see. Squint. this branch is coming this way. You got to study your subject. You can't just look at the board and make it up. You know, like when we're little, we think an apple is red with a brown stem and a green leaf that looks like the shape of an almond. But if you've ever looked at an apple, that's not true at all. Apples can be shaped like an old lady's head or an old man's nose. They can be shaped like a dried up prune. They can be gray and red and blue. So just remember that when you're painting. Paint what you see, not what your mind tells you is there. Okay, squint, squint, squint. Paint. Okay. I'm looking at this little tree. Oh, look at the snow come down. It's snowing. Okay. I'm seeing the whole pattern. So this goes here. Got some darks here. So I'm squinting and I'm blocking in what I see. You can do this at home. Just look out your window. Put dark where you see dark. Put light where you see light. Do negative painting in between the branches. It's a challenge, but it's worth it. Oh, I see we have a beautiful cardinal up there. Can you see her? She's right there. Okay, so now I think it's a good idea to add a little more gray to the paint, add a little more blue, maybe some Viridian, maybe some cobalt, make it a little icy or green. Squint, and now when I look up, I'm going to squint and put in some of these big shapes. So we've got, ooh, look. See him? Big, beautiful cardinal up there. Well, hello, little squirrel. He's upset because the blue jays keep taking all of his peanuts. I don't know what's more exciting. All of this nature I'm seeing. Oh, there's an angry blue jay. Hi. You can't let him get your peanuts, buddy. Hi there. You know, plein air painting is so cool because you get to interact with nature. Okay, so I'm just looking up and kind of, this branch comes down. If you need to add a little dark to your green mix or a little gray, really we're just using at this point just the greens. A little more negative painting, get a little darker paint. This is altogether different than when I'm doing a studio painting because studio, you've got controlled temperature. I don't have that worry about holding the camera or saying what I'm doing, and you know, so this is a challenge. This is fun, but this is definitely, plein air painting is challenging. It will help your art grow, I think, quite a bit. Because you have to really study things. You have to study shapes. You have to be in the present moment. All the books about the power of now and reading books to be in the present. Just start painting or drawing, or I'm sure it's the same with sewing or any kind of craft. So these are negative painting. Again, doing a little, I'm just mimicking what I see here in this tree. Green, okay. I'm going to pick up a little Viridian, and I'm going to pick up a little bit of violet gray. The magic in this painting is going to be at the end when we put the snow, because you always do, you know, it's like dessert after dinner. You always do that last, so. And this is kind of a close-up. I decided to do a close-up because this is a very strange shaped white pine, and I just didn't think it would look the best any other way, so. We'll get a little woodpecker out there. Hear him? Hopefully he doesn't think my cowboy hat's an old piece of wood and come and start pecking on my head. Boy, the birds are really using this shelter of this tree. I saw something interesting online. It said if you have a Christmas tree in your house after Christmas, a real one, instead of putting it at the curb, to throw it in your yard, because it gives the animals and the birds somewhere to hide. That's a great idea. I have an artificial tree because I don't like to kill trees just to put them in the house for a month, but they do smell amazing when you have them in your house. Okay. Also, don't forget to step back, look at your painting, look at your subject. Glad I'm wearing my Carhartts. One more really important thing I wanted to mention is muck boots. In my video on gear for plein air painting, I said you gotta have muck boots. Muck boots are very slippery on snow and ice, and I've already fallen on my tailbone. So unless you get the Arctic ice ones, you're gonna need those little rubber spike things to put on the bottom of your boot. Just trying to keep you safe out there. Now that we have the basic structure of the up close, something similar to this, we need to get the snow in here. So I'm going to get out the palette knife. This is what I love about this easel, and Soltech is not paying me to say this. I just love this easel. I did a video on my supplies, but Graham paint is my favorite walnut oil-based paint that I use all the time. Okay, so what we're going to do for the snow, We're going to take some white, and I need a much better palette knife. Look at this bent thing. This is worthless. Okay, I got to go get a better palette knife. I'll be right back. We're mixing some different snow colors now using grays and white. Starting to snow a little harder now. And we are going to use a little turp, kind of water this down some. Wow. And we are going to put some real nice grays into this painting. I mixed some darker, used some purple, cobalt, and white, mix a darker kind of a gray, and I'm going to put this kind of as shadows underneath where I think some of my branches will go. Okay. Now I'm going to grab my palette knife. And just start putting where I see snow. I want some of this blue. There's a lot of snow here on this thing. You notice I have broken blues and purples and everything in here. It's not just white I'm putting on. That's very important to pay attention to because snow reflects other colors around it, but also it has shadows in it. So again, I'm using a palette knife here just to show you. That you can use a palette knife. Ooh, we don't want that red. And big fat chunks of white and blue and gray are perfect for this because that is exactly what you want. Okay. I got this stuff coming down everywhere. So we're going to go ahead and put it like we see it. I might need to get a little more white. Oh my goodness. I mean, I had a big worm of white on my board this morning because I knew I was going to need white. Guess I just didn't realize how much at the time, huh? I would be needing. All right, I'm trying to get a little blue and a purpley kind of color in here. And this snow underneath. This is fun. You just play with it. You just do the best you can. If it doesn't look anything like you want, then you just take a deep breath, you smile, and you start again and you try another little painting. Lots of great painters do wipeouts. That's very common. Wipeout meaning you go, oh God, my aunt wouldn't even want that for Christmas, and you, off it goes. So, all right, I see up here, there's a couple of branches. And I'm kind of doing a close-up too. I'm not really doing every one of these branches hangs different, so you got to kind of study them. And they have different numbers of things coming down. Again, I thank you to my viewers who are commenting, oh, my paintings are getting better, but these are these are just plein air studies. If you want to see some, you know, pretty good paintings, go to my website, tamaraminardoval.com, or check me out on Etsy or somewhere, and you'll see some really good paintings. These are just quick 20-minute studies. And then I use these in the studio later to kind of reference when I'm doing a big painting on something. Need a little more blue, add some cobalt. Oh boy, too much cobalt. Yellow comes blue, so add a little ochre. I'm sorry, no, orange. Jesus. Yellow and blue make green. Sorry about that. A little orange. Okay, so my low battery just came on. It's a little disheartening. Oh, did you hear that hawk? All right, so I'm just gonna paint for a minute. I'm gonna add some blues in here and some violet grays. And I'm just gonna paint for a minute in here. I like that. That's pretty good. And then it kind of comes down here too. And then we've got this little branch right here. Oh, it's really snowing now. Gosh. I am using whites and putting them over the branches. There's some branches. I'm happy with that. That's a good study for today. There is my snowy covered close-up of a pine tree, white pine. And then you need to practice this sometimes too. You always need to sign it. I sign it right out in the field because I never work on my paintings, my plein air paintings again once I'm done. So there it is. We had a lot of fun today doing this plein air painting of a white pine in Michigan. Now I need to feed these hungry crows. Have a great day. Happy painting.